Hi everybody, happy Independence Day to Jamaica, celebrating its 52nd birthday today. My name is Marc Brown and welcome to 876-411, the live online Jamaican entertainment pop culture show hosted right here on Google Hangouts and in HD for once. Thank goodness. Yes, so big up Jamaica on its earth strong. You don't know have to represent even though I'm there Canada right now. Back fresh off a vacation. And today we have our Independence special. Looking at some of the songs, the best songs ever made about Jamaica, our wonderful island, land of wood and water, how to really want it the world works. Is it mean not just festival songs, so some real songs about our island. Also, we'll be talking a little bit about a couple of albums that are one going in the up and one going in the down direction. That would be Chronixx and Tessanne's albums. And I'll be talking a little bit about Chronixx's rise on Billboard and Tessanne's album are being labeled a flop by one major American music critic. But first, of course, you don't know today is a big day. Some people miss this, not really feeling the vibe today as it is, the biggest holiday, one of the biggest holidays of the year. But you don't know Independence Day. We have to give thanks for another year as a independent nation. Though we're not free in the sense of, everything, a lot of things going alright as far as the economy, as far as, crime and violence has been a problem. But we still have many gifts that we give the world and we're very grateful for all the good things that we have in Jamaica. You understand? Everything that attracts people to us. One of those things is music. I don't know, say over the years, Jamaican music during our time as a free nation has gained a lot of traction with the world because not only has our music appealed in the sense that it's different, that it makes people, really take stock of us, as far as our culture, but also it also kind of draws people in to really understand what our island has been about. That's what people have like Bob Marley, Dennis Brown. I could go on and on, have done over the years that have really, allowed people from US, Canada, all over the world to really look at Jamaica and say, this is a very nice island, I'd like to visit here and whatnot. No, I recently did a column about a couple of days ago about the top 10 songs done about Jamaica. No, not all of them are festival songs, obviously. About a couple of them are festival songs, and not all of them are, talking about how great the island is. Because, as I said, as I alluded to just a little while ago, that Jamaica, for all our, the great treasures that we possess, we still have our share of problems. So a lot of the songs on the list kind of balance that out well. One of the songs I pointed to was Tony Rebel's "Sweet Jamaica." The song where must say, "Only problem is that was not road." That song there, you see me? So him singing at the song saying, land of wood and water and it's so beautiful and the reggae music up there and everything. But at the same time, dollars not run. And that song was done in 1993. And it's 21 years later, and we're pretty much saying the same exact thing right now. No, it's only worse because the US dollar compared to ours, I mean, it's no contest. So, you see me? Jamaica is a very nice place. You see what I say? Lots of beaches, lots of just lots of fun stuff to do. And to me, it has so much, so many landmarks, so many great figures to come out of the country. Bob Marley, as I mentioned, you see in both, and so there's definitely so much to it. And the vibe of the people. While we might come across as rebels at times, and I really am, that we're very warm people, we're very open-minded people. So at the end of the day, Jamaica, it's a very great place to live, but yeah, the money thing, we're not able to spend that. Well, at least one thing with Jamaica people is, even though we don't really have money to spend, we still know how to make the best of our time, isn't it? So that is one example of, showing the positives and some of the negatives about us. Another song that came to mind was Busy Signal, Born and Grow. Remember that song where they have the Eric Donaldson song, Land of My Birth, has the sample at the start, and them talk about, all the food and the culture and everything, and all, real bad man come from Jamaica, all them things there. That was, you don't really see many dancehall songs show that balance, but him did really do some good storytelling from the song. You see me? Really a show where say it's a tough place to live. You can't really make no loose speech in the country, and reality you have to watch your back at all times. But at the same time, nice food, nice woman, the most beautiful woman them in the world, pick up on yourself. And you see me, there's a whole lot of benefits that you can get from living. So it's one of the few dancehall songs about Jamaica. That's really like, because a lot of dancehall songs about Jamaica either have some sexual connotation to it, or it's a bad man song. This song now is more culture based, more just showing you the true roots of the island. So big up business thing for that. And then you have the songs which touch on the reality of the situation, the real hardships of the country. Like Kingston Town. A lot of people remember this song. This was from Alvaro Rose, the white ras, as much to call it, from Italy. Who, him come Jamaica and him see what all going, but him know say it's not a better roses living in Kingston. You understand? You have the crime game, you have kids with the crime thing probably because them not get no work and them not get no really educational benefits and them thing there. So it's a lot of strife that goes on behind the scenes in the inner cities and them thing there. Once people not get no work and not get no food and not get no money to sustain themselves, they're gonna turn to that. And that song, as well as Kingston Be Wise, and which I didn't have on the list, but deserves a very good show. That song was more particularly about the Tivoli incursion that happened years ago, the whole thing with Dodos and all the messy politics behind it. But at the end of the day, those songs really teach you what from the unnecessary crime and violence war go on in the island. For a long time we have begged people to stop, but don't stop. But at the end of the day, the only way we have to progress is if we offer more opportunities to steer youth away from that. You understand? So those songs are very good. And another very good song that showcases that, Welcome to Jamrock, which is arguably the best song that Damian Marley ever did. I mean, there's so many great songs he did, but that one really show you, what Jamaica is about. As in point to the same thing, the education where the youth them get, and some of them just waste it. Some of them just don't want to take advantage because they look on crime as the easy way out. Where them can just rob people, take money and live life. And that is not, the life where we want the youths them to live. So at the end of the day, Damian Marley came up with that song. Of course, it won him a Grammy back in 2006. And it really spoke a lot to that. It spoke a lot to just the strife for going in a Jamaica that it's not like the tourist board commercial then. Jamaica, for all the the Yemen and the Irie and the beach and the people them are right on the horse and them things. No man, you see, that is the image we love to portray, really people from overseas to come and free with. But at the end of the day, we have our problems too. And, talking to tourists, talking to people living here who have visited Jamaica, they're more aware of it now than maybe, say, 5, 10 years ago when that was the only image really being portrayed about Jamaica. Now, people know, say, you have to be very careful when you're around certain places. You understand? Now, Jamaica is a very great place to visit, and you just have to know the right areas to go to. But that song in particular kind of show you, say, we need to paint a more realistic image of our country so that people know, say, while it is paradise to a lot of those who come for the first time, we also have our flaws. And that song, I think, perfectly encapsulated it. So you have those songs, you have the festival song, them, Rai Ryan with Give Thanks and Praise. Shout out to Mesmerize. Good year rapper that is one of my brethren them who is a constant viewer at the show. That's his father. Big up Mesmerize. Rai Ryan would give thanks and praises. And they change it up a little bit for the 50th. It was originally for the 25th anniversary when they do it. We are 25 and all that. No, it didn't change it to We Are Still Alive when they had the 50th anniversary 2 years ago. And he's regarded as the festival king. That song when we did In Vacation, on vacation in J. Every time we go on vacation in J, and it's this time of year, that song play every single time. You see him perform it a couple times already. So, it's one of the songs I was here. And of course, Land of My Birth from Eric Donaldson. What make that song unique is the high pitch in the voice. Just the uniqueness about the song and the patriotism in the song because him always influenced Jamaica. Him not left, him not want, going away. That's what kind of inspired Busy song where I'm talking about him not going away and not snow and God knows sometimes you regret coming up because of the snow. But him talk a lot about him not leaving country, we must pull together and really rally behind the island. And that is the thing we have to do. If we want Jamaica to reach the level that we know it should be reaching, then we have to pull together and just cut out the bad mind thing, keep one another down thing and rise together, rise united. You understand? But to me, the greatest song about Jamaica is that was actually done just last year, and that would be Mr. Chronixx with Smile Jamaica. No. That concept wasn't totally original. Remember, Bob Marley, the great Bob Marley, did a song by the similar name, which of course has so much significance because that song came right the year when he was shot, when he was ambushed at his home at Hope Road and nearly died, and then ended up performing at the Smile Jamaica concert a couple of days later and, did this nearly 2 hour long performance before he went to London over here for his safety, exile for a little while. And then they come back and of course the memorable concert where they'd have Michael Manley on one side, Eddie Seaga on one and have them shake hands and everything. But that song was, just important to smile, everybody to smile and be happy that they're living in Jamaica. Chronixx's version was very, very good because him did have the concept of making Jamaica a beautiful woman. No, that's of course we have the most beautiful women in the world, so that in itself will appeal people. But his concept was so good because he made about a beautiful woman who has so many treasures to offer, but has been taken for granted. The powers have been abused. There's so many things that that we should be that are taken for granted, that are underestimated. You understand about her, and so he made that song, kind of saying like, hey, we shouldn't be taking Jamaica for granted. We shouldn't be taking her for granted because look at what she's given us. She's given us, as I said, Bolton, Malfour. She's given us the beaches and the ferns and the all sorts of different things. You understand? She's given us so much over the 52 years, and we've just looked at it and, because we live in Jamaica, we can easily take it for granted. You understand? The food and, just everything that we offer, as far as treasures, we take it for granted. And that is why there are so many problems there economically and societally in Jamaica. So, you look on that song, and I thought it was really well done, on the beach with Kida and just a really good description of her and of Jamaica and she tired and she all she got was abuse in return. It was a really good song, and I thought that song, I think that song should be for one of the special anniversaries, the 60th and those kind of things. That should be one of the Independence Day songs, in that the Independence Day song, because I think that song really showed what Jamaica is. That we're a great country, but we often, kind of take it for granted, and that's the thing what we need to change. That's the mentality we need to change. So, man, big up Chronixx for that song there. It was a really great song, and it continues to be played all over. We can't go on Jamaica without that here. You understand? But speaking of Chronixx, big up Chronixx, who other day was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, of course, to get all sorts of rave reviews, and he also performed like tidbits of Jesse Royal, Modern Day Judas, and Jana and Reverence. So he not only used the opportunity to bust himself further, but he also use it to bust other people in the reggae music who do good things, who we appreciate, but not necessarily the world knows that much of. So big up Chronixx for that. And big up him all EP, Dread and Terrible. It's now #1 on the Billboard reggae chart, and deservedly so. It's a very good album. You have, as Here Comes Trouble, which he performed on the Tonight Show, which is one of his better songs. And he also has a dub version of that song. He has a dub version of that song, Alpha and Omega. He also has songs in it like Spirulina. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly Spirulina is. You always see him with the buckle and thing, or if you drink it before a performance. But I'm still trying to figure out what it is. It's a very, natural product that gives him more strength and knowledge. So, more power to him. And the album itself, it was released in April. Got maybe like 400 units sold by before the show, and then when he appeared on the show and people hear this song and say, yeah, we need to buy it. Album goes from 400 before the Tonight Show appearance to over 5,000 units sold that quickly. So that for sure you say, when we get international exposure and we make the most of it, people and people like the music, people go buy it. And that was the great thing about the Tonight Show experience. And we hope some more people like him get that opportunity and get that that kind of promotion and able to capitalize on it. So big up Dread and Terrible, big up Chronixx CM. We are represented on the world stage. We have an album coming out next year. I think it's called Ancient something. I forget the name of it. But he has his debut album coming out next year. So if he can do well with that album and get people to buy, get people to invest in it and further build this brand overseas, then his stock is going to rise and reggae stock is going to rise, because once he goes up, other reggae stars are going to get noticed, because people are going to be, like it was during Marley's time when, even after he passed or before he passed, Dennis Brown was coming up and Barris was coming, it feels like that again, I hesitate to use revival, but that's kind of, it's like a revolution taking place. If him boss and then all those other young artists like them and Keznambi and Kelmisa will get more notice. So big up Chronixx here. Now, from Chronixx going to the top to Tessanne's album being a flop. Now, of course, the last episode, we talked in depth about Tessanne's album, Count on My Love, which gave a listen to, didn't really, grab me the way I was hoping it would grab me, and a lot of others felt the same. Lowest selling album from a Voice winner, from The Voice, and it was sad for me, because of course I've met her, I've interviewed her, and I really wanted her to do well with that album, and it just didn't connect because it was so pop centric and it took away from her true essence, the rock and reggae mashup, and able to fusion so many genres so well. And apparently Yahoo Music agrees. They have named it one of the 15 biggest flops of the year. Count on My Love was one of the big flops of 2014. Other albums on it, such as 50 Cent's Animal Ambition and Robin Thicke's Paula, which to me was creepy. I mean, it's cute to do 1 and 2 songs about a woman we are trying to win back, but a whole album that is starker proportions, you're bothered upon. Isn't it? Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. So, yes, so her album was named among the flops, and it's hard to disagree, really. I mean, it's, as I said, the album just took away, we didn't get the true essence from her. As I said, it's not her fault. She vocally did her best on that album, like we expected her to, but the label didn't, to me, the label and the producer and everything didn't really understand how she got to that point, didn't really understand her true strengths, and they kind of maybe pushed her in one direction. I don't know if she wanted herself to go in that direction, but my guess is they kind of saw her as a next great pop star, and it didn't really work out that way. And I think what Tessanne has to do for her next project, she really has to put more of her input, pour more of her roots into her next project, so that people can more see how she got to the point where she got to. Because it's not just pop make her get so far, it's reggae and rock mix, and able to just fuse all sorts of different genres into her music, so it doesn't sound one-dimensional. And that's what this album was. So, it's a sad thing for to see her on that list because I was really hoping the best for her. And maybe it also says something about the voice and talent shows in general, the American talent shows. They just don't have, maybe the outreach like they used to. Like they don't make great stars anymore. They have the last maybe big star to come out of a talent show in the US was Carrie Underwood. Jardine Sparks had her run and whatever, but since then there haven't been many stars produced from those shows. As far as like selling one, not being able to push big units, being able to really ascend up the ladder, so it's tough, but you don't know. We're rooting for Tessanne. Let's not make this, some kind of, oh, it's all over. No, not at all. It's just beginning. She just needs to tweak some things, make some suggestions to management, and she'll be just fine. Isn't what I say? So we're root for her, and we hope say she bounced back from it and able to take our team to the level where we know she can take it because she have the talent and she have the confidence to do it. Right? So yeah, that is it for the show. Also, big up all of the people them who their Dream Weekend or come back from Dream Weekend today, of course, that will take place in the grill. Make sure say all of you who gone Dream Weekend, make sure say when you come back, you can still afford to pay on the school fee. Make sure you can afford to pay on the bills because one thing I want to hear from when you come back say is, oh, me broke and you can't believe you spend so much money. So why you go there in the first place? You understand? Someone don't need to get on the priorities in order because why you go me are all sort of things like say people are go NCB to get loans just to get that dream loans. Really? Yeah, when I go to NCB to get a loan just to go a party. No man, you can't get the priorities straight, please. If you go, make sure you budget out properly as far as the party them, as far as where you go stay for the time and things. But please don't come back and complain say you're broke. Because if you complain say you're broke, that means say you just go for the sake of going and you never really take the financial part of it. Pick up all of the people then who full joy themselves at Dream Weekend and all the other parties who are going this time of year. So yeah, this has been the Independence Day special again. Happy birthday to Jamaica. Full joy all the activities, the grand gala and everything will go on later. And yeah, we'll see you next time. More of this up and coming entertainment show for you. I am Marc Brown and I'll see you later. Peace.